Hello there, it's Carrie from Stample CT. So welcome in, friends. I'm hoping that I have this situated. I'm going to change it just a tiny bit. Okay. Sorry about that little roller coaster ride there. But I'm excited to be with y'all today. Hope you're doing well. I hope as you hop in, you'll say hello, and definitely if you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching the replay. You can hear our obligatory train has come through. I've not heard any power tools or chainsaws this afternoon, so you know, that could happen too. Real life crafting, guys. So this is Carrie from Stamp with CT. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Texas. I want to welcome you into our Facebook Live. We're going to do just a little bit of crafting today. And I hope to inspire you to create. And I hope you're having a great day. See, we've got somebody jumping in. Hello, hello. So I'm here in the craft room today with Oliver the Crafty Pup. And I'm just so glad that the camera is focused down just on my desk. Because my room is a disaster, y'all. It is just hot mess dumpster fire. But I've got a lot going on. I don't know if I've told you, I think I have, that we have a brand new annual catalog coming in May. And so I cannot show you the inside, but this is the beautiful cover of our new catalog. And I've really not had a lot of time to do a deep dive into it, but what I've seen so far, I absolutely love. Now, I did get several boxes of catalogs in, so if you would like one of your own, you just let me know, and I will make that happen for you. I love to give out complimentary catalogs to my customers, or if you don't have someone that you shop with and you'd like one, you just let me know, and we'll get that taken care of for you. Because we'll be getting those sent out pretty soon. I believe it's the 6th of May that catalog starts. So, because we have a new catalog coming, we have a lot of items that are on what's now called the last chance list. In the past, we used to have a retirement list, and those products went away the minute that the catalog retired. But now we have something called last chance list. So, once we know that they are it's still retiring the product, but they let it go until the supplies are depleted that they have in the warehouse. So sometimes you're still able to get your hands on some things for a little bit longer after that catalog finishes up. And sometimes there's discounts on those products. Not always, but sometimes there is. Okay, let's hop into some crafting. I have a couple samples I want to show you, because today we're going to talk a little bit about this cute card layout in which you can show both sides of your designer series paper. If you're like me, a lot of times I struggle with putting some adhesive on that pretty paper because I really love both sides. So this way it gives you an opportunity to use both sides and show both sides of your designer series paper. So you're going to love how I came up with the project for today. I couldn't sleep, and so I was thinking about card making and crafting and how much I love my friends that craft, and just laying there when I should have been asleep thinking about crafting. And I realized just how much I love paper. I think that's one of the core products that just makes me so very happy. It makes me happy to purchase it, to own it, to cut into it, and to send out the cards that I make with it. And I use a lot of designer series paper. I'm so happy that our paper is so pretty. And I thought it's so much fun when you have a layout that you can use both sides and you don't have to just glue it down. And this popped into my head. It's a layout that's been around forever, but I just haven't done this in a long time. So I thought we would play a little bit today and do that. Now, I'm using just the thanks and hello sentiments that come from the Link Together stamp set. And then this is going to be a huge shock to y'all. These are the Stylish Shapes dies, and we're going to use them too. I love these dies, you guys. So if you have followed my recommendation and you have added these to your crafting supplies, you're going to know they're awesome. And if you don't have them, highly recommend them. I use them pretty much every day in my crafting, so I love them so much. All right, did you notice I have a new background here on my table? Let me know what you think. I kind of like this. I kind of like it, y'all. That wood grain, we'd had that for a really long time, and it was worn out, and I still had this gray background. So let me know what you think. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what we're using. I've got a Petunia Pop card base, and it just so happens this was already cut in my cardstock. It's 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 4 1/2, so I just went with it. I pulled that one out. I think it's off just a tiny skosh the way it is scored, and that may be why it was in there already cut and everything. Let me find a bone folder. Like I said, my room is a disaster. We've got swaps going on, prep for bingo, prep for stamp class. There's a lot going on. I'll go ahead and put my inside panel in. Let me bring my glue in. I've noticed that as it's warmed up here in Texas, it's a little bit warmer today, my glue is really thinned out, and so I'm having to be super careful not to use too much glue. So just, if you live in a warmer climate, keep that in mind. That would be like my tip with the liquid glue. When it's cold, it's a little harder to get it out of the bottle, but it is flowing very freely right now. All right, so we'll set that aside and let that dry for a minute. And I still got a tiny drop of glue on my finger. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my paper trimmer. And then I have a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of Designer Series paper. And before I cut into this, I'm gonna go back to my samples. So on this one, it's 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of Designer Series paper, just like what we're gonna do here. On this sample, I only had a 5 by 3 3/4 inch piece of Designer Series paper, so I mounted it on a piece of white before I added it to our Mossy Meadow card base. Now, what that did was left a white space for me to stamp, and wouldn't you know, I got it a little bit crooked, so I just went ahead and die cut a circle and put that over my little stamping sin, and no one would know unless I told them like y'all, and I know you won't tell anybody. So I was able to fix that, just add a little bow. But that's why this one has a white layer that you can see all the way around. And most of the time I don't do that, but I wanted to use up that piece of paper. I thought that was really pretty. Okay, so this is 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm gonna put it in just about half. So about 2 1/2 is where I'm gonna go. You can go just a tiny bit further if you want to and put it at exactly at half. And then I'll bring that scoring blade out of the way. I'm just gonna cut up into my paper. Now I'm gonna do about 2 inches. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not measuring. Then I went a little bit deeper than that probably. So that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut into my paper like that. And I think while I have my trimmer out, let me grab my other piece of paper for my other project and pick up the circle that I dropped on the floor. And we'll go ahead and cut it while we're cutting. How's that sound? So again, put it right about 2 1/2, right about half. Bring that blade just a little closer and we'll cut again. Okay. Now there was a time in which we had a little stamp that was a scissor, and I loved doing this to make it look like the scissor had cut in. It was so, so cute. So now all you're gonna do is fold these pieces back to expose that second side of your DSP. And just use your bone folder to make that crease. Now, if you want to go ahead and, so you can see, this is not exactly half. I'm fine with that. You can glue this down if you want to. I kind of like the dimension that it has, so I'm not going to glue that down. But I think I will go ahead and adhere this to my card base. I love Petunia Pop. It's such a fun color. So adding just a little bit of glue. And then we can put this down. So you're going to line it up just like you normally do on your card front. You just have a big piece that's cut back. Just find your borders. And give it just a second. And then I went ahead and grabbed Petunia Pop ink. And I had some Petunia Pop ribbon as well. We're just going to go all in on the Petunia Pop, aren't we? So we'll grab one of our circles. And somewhere I had a piercing mat to stamp on. And let's see, I think we'll use the thanks for this one. With Petunia Pop. And you know what? I told you the wrong stamp set, y'all. I didn't use Link Together. I pulled it out and was going to. Huh. That's not the stamp set that I used. I used Simply Said. This is a great little stamp set from the annual catalog that's about to retire. I'm sorry about that. I pulled Link Together out and I changed my mind. So Simply Said just has some of those generic sentiments that we all need, and it's so nice to have them all in one set. Sorry about that. I ran out to do an errand for a friend, for a guy that was raised with my nephew, and I had not seen him in a couple of years, and it was just so good to see him. But I wasn't really planning to run out and do that little favor for him. And so when I came back, I was rushing to get everything ready. So hope I don't seem too frazzled. Okay, so now we've got our little thanks and a dimensional back that won't behave. And we can put our thanks on. Now, I can come over here if I really want to show off that cut into the paper. I think I'm going to bring it right about there because I did go a little bit deeper on the cut of this one. So cute though, just like that, isn't it? But of course, we'll make a little poppy, a Petunia Pop. We could make a little knot. That would be cute on here. Actually, I think I'm going to make a bow for this one. So this is that in color ribbon from the annual catalog. It's about to retire. And demonstrators are able to pre-order from the new catalog, but we can't get our hands on any ribbon just yet, y'all. But just know that I am working on swaps and getting to know those new products. It's always so exciting to have new colors and new products in the craft room. Now I need to find my glue dots. This is almost to the end of this roll, and it's almost time to get a new roll out. We were talking, I guess that was yesterday, Cheryl and I were talking while we were doing some prep, and she was saying there's 300 glue dots on a roll. I knew there was 300 dimensionals in a package of dimensionals, and I think 400 in the minis. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize there was 300 glue dots in a package. So a package of glue dots can last you a long time. All right, let me zhuzh my bow a little bit and decide where do I want it. Maybe right here. Maybe right there. And then, of course, I have some embellishments. And these are actually the in-color embellishments from last year. So let's see here. We could really use a couple of the different colors. I think we're just gonna, make sure that's right. Yes, it is. Okay, this is just a little strip that had some left over on there. We're just gonna sprinkle some on, y'all. It's kind of all the colors are in there. Oops, there he is. We'll sprinkle some on. And a lot of times I just use about 3 embellishments, but I think for this, I'm gonna go for 5. That's about as wild as I get with embellishments. That one doesn't want to stay. Get over there. And then we'll put one down here as well, just to finish that off. What do y'all think? Isn't that cute? They just turn out so cute. And I always love the fact that when you use a different designer series paper, you get a little bit different look. So like you know, I have one more that we're gonna work on together. And this time we're using the On The Go designer series paper. So again, we'll add our inside panel really quick. A tiny bit of glue. And if you want to stick around once we get done with our crafting today, I've got lots of Happy Mail to show you. We've still received several sympathy cards. And I'm just getting, well, first of all, it's so sweet to be thought of and prayed for, and we appreciate that so very much. But I'm getting so many ideas from the cards that we get. I just love the beautiful workmanship that I'm seeing from everybody. Now I dropped my Take Your Pick tool. Can you wait, Oliver? I bet Oliver will get it for me. Bring it to Mom. Can you bring it to Mom? Where is it? Bring it to Mama. Then I need to find his treats. I've got him buried. Here, love. Good job. He brought it to me, y'all. He brought it closer to me. Okay. Take Your Pick rescued. And back to our card. So we've already cut into this, and again, I didn't cut quite as deeply as I did on the other one. So you'll see there's just, you know, a little bit of a difference. So it doesn't really matter how you do it. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle. And all of that works. And we'll put this on a Shy Shamrock card base. So this is Strawberry Slush, which is a new color that is actually returning from years ago to our lineup. So isn't that cute? Love that little plaid pattern. So Strawberry Slush and Shy Shamrock, such a fun color combination that's in this. This is an online exclusive suite On The Go. So let me get this zhuzhed into place. And I think for this one, we're just going to say hello. We're going to stamp hello. Alrighty. So again, if you want to glue these little pieces down, you can, but you don't have to. And I could probably stamp hello there if I wanted to, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use one of my other circles that I cut. All right. Let's grab hello now, and we'll use our Shy Shamrock ink. So just tapping my stamp into my ink pad, getting it nice and inky. And I'm not really worrying about centering up the sentiments because I'm embellishing too, so you can be a little bit more careful with that if you want to. And just think about the many papers that you have that you just love both sides, and what you can pull in to decorate with. I lost my dimensionals, y'all. Get some more. I'm telling you, we've got a lot going on in this room, and it is a little bit scary. Okay. Now, of course, you could use any die cut with your sentiment that you wanted to, any shape, and that would be really fun too. Here where you cut in on the paper. Okay, and then I think, like I said, we'll use a little Shy Shamrock knot on this card with that in color ribbon. Grab our glue dots again. And I'll trim it off. I have super long tails. Let me know what y'all are up to. If you're working in your craft room today, it's been a beautiful day outside. So who knows, you may be out gardening or walking, spending a little time outside. We're at that wonderful point of the year where it's warm, but it's not too warm. And then the nights get cool, but not too cool. We're just like in the perfect place, aren't we? Okay, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go back to my shiny. Did I bring them over here? I did. So these are those iridescent gems, and I think I'm going to use them on this one. I love these. They're just so sparkly. And again, I may go a little bit crazy with the embellishment. Just a few more than I would typically use just because it's fun. Maybe one more right up there. Okay. So that's our on the go. Other one that we made, and let me go ahead and bring my other two samples in again. You can see all of the projects, and just isn't that funny how different they look because of the different designer series paper, and yet it's the same cute little layout, and you get to see both sides of the paper, and it just makes us happy, right? And what makes other people happy is to pop those in the mail once you get done with them. So you can make a lot of these cards so quick, so easily, and then get them out in the mail to friends and family. They would love that. Okay, let me grab the Happy Mail that I want to show you. First of all, I've got a couple little treat holders, and this first one was made by Cassandra. I've stolen the candy out of it. I put all the candy in the candy jar, but she had that filled with little chocolates for Easter. Is that not the cutest? So it's almost like a little milk container, and it's got a window there. As usual, she knocked it out of the park with the little treat holder. And then we had a retreat this past weekend, and my amazing friend Karen came from Florida, our amazing friend. And she made this cute little treat holder, and she calls it a 2468 treat holder. And she learned this from Karen Titus, who is stamping on the back porch. But she shared the measurement. So you'll be seeing us, either make these for an event or maybe make it on a Facebook Live one day. But these were really, really cute. And they're quick and easy, but I love that little treat holder from Karen. We had a really good time at the retreat. I think I may have caught up on my sleep now, y'all. And then I've just got some sympathy or thinking of you cards that I want to share. This first one is from my amazing friend Angelica. She actually heat embossed that sentiment there. And this is just a simple project, but beautiful coloring, just a beautiful layout, and such a sweet card. So like I said earlier, it is so nice to know that people are thinking of you and praying for you when you're hurting. And so these cards matter, you guys. And I struggle with making cards that are sympathy cards. I can do thinking of you and praying for you and that type thing, but sympathy cards are just hard for me. And so I'm really getting some nice ideas from the cards that we're receiving, and we just really, really appreciate them. And then we have one here from my sweet friend Debbie. And again, appreciate the sentiment and her sending it and the message that she wrote inside. But look at that layout, and it's just very striking, but so pretty and perfect. So thank you, Debbie. Dale and I appreciate this so much. It's a beautiful card. Now this one came from my friend Elisa McGrow, and I absolutely love the die cut that she used. Is that not beautiful? I'm gonna have to ask her. Now, it's not a Stampin' Up! Product. I'm gonna have to ask her where that came from, if she cut that with her Cricut, which she does use the Cricut a lot in her crafting, does beautiful work, but I just thought that was so very pretty. This one comes from my sweet friend Mary, and again, a simple layout, but very impactful, very beautiful. This is Thinking of You. Now I have a couple cards that are not handmade, but I know I've shown you before how we can take such inspiration from them. This is from Cassandra's parents, Rosemary and Robert, and I thought it was just beautiful. And, you know, just using the stamps that we already have in our stash, just to do that in either corner, put your sentiment in the middle, that's a great idea. I mean, that's a great idea for really any type of occasion of a card. Be beautiful for a birthday. So just thinking about the stamps that we have and stamping off partially. I have stamps that look very much like that, so I thought that was really, really pretty. And then this one is a gorgeous card. It's got a lot of texture to it, and it's from my aunt and uncle, and I thought this was gorgeous as well. So here, you know, again, we may add a die cut and then just the sentiment. And so sometimes I think I kind of overthink cards like this, but this is a really beautiful card as well, and we could very easily duplicate something like this. Let me see here. Oh, I was going to tell you guys too that a donation was made in honor of my dad to the clinic where I work, and so I wasn't even aware that you could do that, but that was so sweet that someone made a donation that will help out one of the patients that, you know, may not have the money for a copay or something like that. Now this last card is super cute, and this was a thank you. I assisted Cassandra in hosting the retreat this past weekend, and I don't fold my cards like this very often, you know, to the side, but I thought that was really fun. And then all the girls that went to the retreat signed that as well. So this is a really cute layout too. Okay, guys, I think that's all that I have for you today. I hope that we have inspired you to pull out some craft supplies and make something pretty, and definitely to send something out to someone. It just really makes their day. And so you get to enjoy creating, and they get to enjoy receiving that, and that's just the way it works, isn't it? Okay, have a great day, and I will see you again soon. Thank you.